today I wanted to run you through a yoga sequence for hip opening, hamstrings, our upper body a bit. It can be used for running or before or after any type of exercise. It really helps to kind of stretch and strengthen the legs. I like to use it on leg day as well. I'll try to make it accessible for everyone. It will run about 40 minutes. Come and join me on that. We'll start with some cat-cows. So inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round the spine. We really want to set ourselves up here on the mat so we have our shoulders over our wrists and our hips aligned with our knee. Good. Pushing down gently into the mat. Just a couple more. Articulating to the spine here. This should feel really nice. We want to get our spine nice and warmed up. Great. Now I'm just going to turn to face you so that you see what this looks like. We're taking our left foot out to the side. You can have your foot flat on the ground if it's available to you. If it's not, just on the side of your foot. Good. We should feel a nice big stretch alongside the inner thigh, the adductor of the leg. You can intensify this stretch by coming back or moving forward to lessen the intensity. Keep that core nice and strong. Head and neck aligned with the spine. Great. Now just bringing back to the center. Reach up onto your knees. Grabbing our left wrist with our right hand, we're just kind of arching over to the side. Don't go too deep here. We'll get some more side bending as we move through the flow. Inhale, reach up, core strong. Exhale, bend to the other side. Inhale, reach up, big stretch. Then coming back down to the mat. You're going to take your opposite foot out, flattening the foot down to the mat. Good. Again, you should feel that stretch alongside your adductors. To intensify it, you can shift your hips back. To lessen it, you can come forward. Just breathe here, a couple of breaths. What I'm setting up for you today is the vinyasa flow. It links breath with movement and repetition. So try to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. I'll cue breaths here, but if it's your first kind of play around with yoga or you're a beginner or you're just not into the breathing, just make sure you're breathing. Great. Coming back to the center of the mat, we're just going to stretch out our toes a little bit here. So flip your toes under and sit back on them. This can be quite strong, so you can come out of it if you need by shifting forward. Just sit here, guys. Maybe place your hands on your belly and feel the breath coming in and out through the nose. As we inhale, we're contracting the diaphragm, the main muscle of the respiratory unit. And as we exhale, we're releasing the diaphragm. Good. Coming out of this gently. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. I'll set this up for you. Your hands are going to be about shoulder width distance. You have a nice wide space between all of your fingers and your index fingers facing towards the front of the mat. We have a tendency as humans to roll out, so we really want to focus on pushing that index and that thumb finger into the mat here. Great. As you come back, you're making an inverted V with your shape of your body. If it's your first downward facing dog of the day, you might want to put a nice bend in those knees. Good. Your feet are about a fist or a fist and a half width distance, about hip distance. And we're energetically melting our heels down to the mat. Now, ideally, we want our heels to touch the mat, but it's not accessible for everyone. It's not accessible for me. But as long as we're reaching our heels towards the mat, that's all we need here. Pushing the mat away, wrapping the triceps back. Good. Take those rib cage and tuck it in so they're not flaring out. Nice, strong elongation through the spine. And our hip bones are reaching up towards the sky. Great. Take your right leg up towards the sky. Open at the hip. We're doing a three-legged dog here. Now, I forgot to tell you at the beginning of class, if you have blocks and a strap, please make them available. If you don't have blocks, books will work. If you don't have a strap, I'm using a dog leash. Now bring that right leg back down to the mat and just switch legs here. So bring the left leg up towards the sky, rolling out, opening at the hip. This should feel really nice, guys. Nice inhale and exhale through the nose. Great, bring that foot back down to the mat. Let's move a little bit here. Bring that right leg up towards the sky. Bring your knee to your nose here, stepping through your right foot to your right finger, right thumb, sorry. Grab those blocks if they're handy. We're just coming back into a modified pyramid pose. So you're on about cutting tracks here, so your feet aren't in line, they're about hips distance. And you're gonna come back, so straighten that right leg. You're energetically pushing that hip back. We have a straight leg here. You can put a bend in it if you need to. But you should feel a really big stretch to that hamstring. Now the back leg there is really strong through the quadricep. You're also energetically trying to pull that back foot back. And you should feel this outer hip and glute switch on to help strengthen the quadricep and the knee. This front leg, this outer hip is internally rotating. Great, so you're pulling that back. You can put a little more stretch in the front leg if you need to, just depending where your body's at today. Great, one more breath here. Now inhale, we're coming to a runner's lunge. Keep those blocks there if you need them. If you have the range, you can put your hands down on the ground. Exhale, back up. We're just kind of flowing through this a little bit, getting a nice stretch through the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lunge. Just one more time. Exhale, that pyramid pose. Now move your blocks if you need. And you're just gonna bring your left foot to join your right foot at the top of the mat. Put a nice bend in your knees here. We're coming to our first forward fold, Uttanasana. If your hands touch the mat, that's great. What we really want here though is our belly on our thighs. That's our most important thing. So put as much bend as you need into those knees. Good. Now try something here. Pushing that fleshy bit of our toe into the mat. Really focus on pushing it down and see how it shifts your hips forward so that your hip bones are now over your ankles, which is what we really want here. Now let your head relax, let your arms relax, and just let go here. Now on a halfway lift, we're gonna come up on an inhale. We have a straight, strong spine here. So we want our head, our neck, and our spine all in line, and our core is really strong. And forward fold, exhale. Now I want you to take each of those 33 bones in your spine and roll them up one by one, slowly articulating through the spine. Letting your head be the last thing up, shoulders back and down. And we're coming to stand at the front of the mat. Great. Take a moment to adjust yourself here. Your weight is evenly spread throughout all four corners of the feet. Your inner arches are pulling up slightly. Your core is engaged. Your shoulders are backing down. And your gaze is softly in front of you. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, floating down towards the mat. On an inhale, halfway lift, straight spine, engage the back of the legs. Forward fold. Let's run through that again. Articulating through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, rolling up. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, reach up, look up. And floating down to the floor on an exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your palms, we're coming back and I'm gonna show you our chaturanga. So let's set up our plank first. We have our shoulders over our wrists. Our legs are strong and straight. However, I want you to push forward and come down to your knees. I want you to engage through your triceps here, really pushing the ground away, engaging through the upper back. And our core is strong, our glutes are strong, and our hamstrings are strong. Now, wrapping your triceps in, coming down here, staying here, I know this is strong. I want you to pull your elbows together. This engages through your serratus anterior, which are the muscles around your diaphragm, your lungs, and your rib cage, and activating through the triceps. Good. Now open that collarbone. And drop down. Now we're coming to our first series of back bends, so take these slow. On an inhale, we're lifting up to cobra. Exhale, release. You should feel engaging in the back, but nothing painful, no crunching. Exhale. Use your hands and push yourself up a little more if you have the range in your cobra. Good, your tops of your feet are on the mat. Your legs are strong, your glutes are strong. You should feel engaging through the back and stretching through the core. Hold it here for another breath. And exhale, lower down, push back to all fours. And we're coming back to our downward facing dog. Just have a quick glance at your hands. Make sure your triceps are pulling back, your hands are shoulder width distance. Hip bones reaching up to the sky. And breathe. Good. Now lifting up to that left leg. Pulling knee to nose here, kind of like crunch in the sky. Drop that left foot to the left thumb. Grab your blocks if they're available for you. And we're running through that pyramid variation. So straighten that left leg. Again, you should feel a stretch there, big stretch along through the whole back side of your leg. If it's not available for you, just put a bend in your knee. Wherever you're at today, guys, is just fine. So actively pushing that back foot away without the foot actually going anywhere. Feel that the back of the knee open up and that quadricep really turn on. Wrapping that hip internally, pulling that hip back. Good. Now if it's available for you, you can start to bend over the knee. Don't push it, guys. Don't force it. And on an inhale, we're coming forward to that runner's lunge, opening up through the chest, core is strong. Exhale back. Inhale forward, runner's lunge.
Keep that back leg super strong, guys. Exhale. Inhale, coming forward, move those blocks, and you're just gonna bring your right leg to join your left at the top of the mat. Halfway lift here on an inhale, strong, straight core. Forward fold, exhale, big. Now reach up, lift up, a little more energy coming through the tips of your fingers, and exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Halfway lift, inhale here. Plant your palms, stepping back. We're gonna run through upward facing dog and full plank. So again, pushing that ground away, activating up through your shoulders, wrapping those triceps back, shift forward, our legs are super strong, coming down only to a 90 degree, those shoulders do not pass the elbows. Flip your feet, open your heart up, broaden through the collarbones, and make sure those legs are really strong, supporting your upward facing dog, Ardha Mukha. And push back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. Now reach that right leg up towards the sky. And exhale, knee to nose. Drop, bringing your right foot to your right thumb. Coming up into a lunge. Here, you can take the lunge down to make it, to modify it. That's perfectly fine. You're still activating the same muscles. If you're full with me, we're up here, pushing through that front, four corners of that front foot. Our quadricep is really strong. We're actively pulling that hip back and pushing this one forward. If you have the range, you can straighten that back leg. Just make sure you're not putting a big arch in your back. Great. Now we're gonna add in a really great twist on an exhale. Twisting through the thoracic spine, it's a small movement, over that right leg. Good. Now on an inhale, we're just reaching that left leg, that left arm up. We're coming into exalted warrior. Take another inhale here. And on your exhale, you're opening out to warrior two. Here we have our front leg really strong. It's bent to almost 90 degrees if you can do it. This back foot is really strong through the whole four corners of the foot. We're pressing into this front foot, and we have a heel to arch alignment if it's available for you. Core is strong, shoulders are down, and our gaze is right over our middle finger. Breathe here. Slow it out a little bit. Straighten that right leg, get a nice stretch relaxation through that. Hips strong and straight. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, reach up. Shoulders down but strong. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Make this your best one. Strong here. Now as you inhale up, we're going to take our feet forward, parallel to the mat, in a big star pose here. Good. Engage that core. Now we're shifting into our left leg. We're coming into a high skandasana. So we're bending into this. It's like a high lunge, side lunge. We're bending into this left leg. We want to make sure our knee isn't going wonky. It's tracking with our foot. You should feel a really big stretch here in that standing straight leg. Strong quadriceps, but don't lock out the knee. Now, taking airplane arms, this is really gonna engage the core. This is too much for you, lower your hands down. Otherwise, come with me, we're flying, guys. Really engage through your pelvic floor and those core muscles. One more breath here. Great, now coming to the back of our mat, shifting back, We're coming into our side angle pose here. So we have our left leg facing the back of the mat. Our right leg is parallel to the front of the mat. Here you want to push your elbow into your quadricep while you're pushing your quadricep into your elbow. You should feel that back glute really engage here. Strong legs, strong quadriceps. Take that top arm and reach it over. We have a nice strong core, our ribs are knitting in, and our chest is opening to the sky. We get a small twist here through our thoracic spine. And your gaze can either be up, straight ahead, or down at your foot. Perfect. Plant your palms here, coming back into our plank, and we're just going to shift onto our left arm for Vashisthasana side plank. If you need to modify this, just drop that knee down. Otherwise, join me into the full version, pushing that floor away, coming out of that shoulder complex, core strong. Now sometimes the hips have a tendency to rock back. Move that front hip forward. Good job, guys. Planting your palms down. We're coming through your version of Chaturanga. So you can be on your knees, on your toes. You can come into upward facing dog or cobra. And pushing back to downward facing dog. Good, now we're gonna take our left foot to the sky here. Knee through to nose. We're taking our left foot to our left thumb, and we're coming up into that crescent lunge. Modified or regular, knee bent or straight. Just make sure your back is strong. Inhale, reaching your arms up, pushing down into that foot. Pulling this left hip back, pushing this one forward. Knit your ribs in. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, take that twist through the thoracic spine. Inhale, drop that left hand and lift up through the right. Exhale, let's open out to warrior two on the left leg here. Perfect. So your knee is in alignment with your ankle and your back leg is really strong. If you pull up on the kneecap, you can really feel that right glute get super strong. You get activated. Sink a little bit deeper. Make sure your gaze is over your middle finger. Flow this out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale up. Last warrior two. Make it strong. Now inhale, paralleling those feet, reaching up to star pose. Now we're going to Skandasana to the right leg. Sitting down into that side lunge. If full Skandasana is available for you, please take it. I'm not going to teach it today. Arms out, engaging through those inner thighs, pulling up through the pelvic floor. Those are your P muscles, for lack of a better word. Inhale. Sink deeper if you can. Just make sure that knee's tracking in line with your toes. No funnies going on there. Great. Warrior two, your legs back to the front of the mat. We're dropping our elbow onto our quadricep. Push away actively both with your arm and pushing away with your leg, and feel your muscles turn on. Inhale, arm overhead. Nice, strong, straight line from crown of the head down to the tips of your toes. Great, looking down, framing the foot, coming into your plank pose. We're just shifting onto our right hand here into Vashisthasana side plank on the opposite side. Get yourself set up, whatever level you're at. Push the floor away. Make sure the hips are in line. Breathe. Drop your palms down, shift forward, come to your version of chaturanga. Inhale, broaden the collarbones up in upward dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Looking forward, step, jump, or hop to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Bring your toes together, heels apart. We're coming down like a prayer pose. So sinking down here. Our hands are overhead. If that's not available in your shoulders, just bring your hands to heart center. Great. We're sitting down low. Knees behind the toes. Now push your knees together and feel your glute muscles switch on. Activate through your pelvic floor and really feel that whole hip pelvic complex and your lower legs engage. Inhale here. Sink a little deeper. Really build that fire in your legs, guys. It'll be so good for you, I promise. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward, fold down to the mat. Good. We're gonna flow through this. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your palms, step, jump. Come through chaturanga, come back to downward dog. However you wanna get there, meet me at the back of your mat in downward facing dog. Great. We're trying to move now, one breath, one movement. Starting with our right leg up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, pull it through. Right foot to right thumb. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge. Strong legs. Twist on the exhale over the right leg. Inhale, exalted warrior. Get a nice side stretch. Exhale, open out into warrior two. Sink deep. Inhale. Exhale, sink deep. Inhale, reach up. Mind to those hips. Exhale. Inhale, shift the feet parallel. We're going to Skandasana on that left leg. Strong core, strong arms. Shift the feet. We have side angle pose here. If the full version is available for you with the hand on the mat, take it. Looking down, framing the foot. Coming to side angle pose, Vashisthasana side plank. Big inhale here. Plant the palms, moving through your vinyasa. Shifting. Shoulders don't pass the elbows. Upward facing dog or cobra on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Left leg straight away to the sky. Knee through to nose. Left foot, left thumb. Inhale, big reach up to crescent lunge. Strong. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, open out to a strong warrior pose. Flow it out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back to warrior. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Sinking deeper each time. Last one, make it your best. Lift up, parallel the feet. We're going to Skandasana to that right leg. Good. Strong through the core here. Now shifting into our side angle pose. If you want to use the block, it's just here. Opening out. Framing that right foot. Come back to your plank pose and then shift onto your right hand. Push up into your version of Vashisthasana. Drop that palm, shift forward. Your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Take a good breath here. From your downward facing dog, just come to sit back into a child's pose. Our knees are wide, our toes are together, and you're dropping your hips.
down to your heels as much as possible. If this isn't comfortable, just take your knees together. So we're gonna run through that sequence one more time. And I'm just gonna cue the pose and the breath, really to allow you to get into your own flow. And then we'll do a little bit, some back bending, a standing series, and we'll get you out of here and on your run. Meet me in downward facing dog, guys. Right leg up to the sky. Knee to nose. Right foot, right thumb. Crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sink deep. Exhale, bottom of the movement. Inhale, reach. Last one, exhale. Inhale, that star pose, feet parallel. Exhale, Skandasana. Side angle pose, inhale, reach your arm over. Plant your palms, side plank. Big breath in. Come through your chaturanga. Push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot up. Knee to nose. Left foot, left thumb. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, Skandasana. Big reach. Exhale, plant your palms. Shift onto that right hand. Plant your palms. Shift forward. Lower halfway. Flip to the tops of your feet. Push up to upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Look forward. Step, hop, or jump in between your hands. Halfway lift here, straight spine. Forward fold. Take a big fold here. Remember to push the flush tips of the toes into the mat and bring your hips forward over your ankles. Roll up. Inhale. Float back to the mat. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. Plant your palms. Step back. Come through your chaturanga or straight back to downward facing dog. Great. Right foot up to the sky. We're going to add some variation here. Right knee to nose. Coming up into your crescent lunge here. Twist over. Exalted warrior. Opening out into your warrior two. Great. Inhale, we're going straight away to that star pose. Powering down to the ground. You can put as much of a bend in the knee as you need to. Basically what we want to do is that same kind of feeling that we had in our forward bend, pushing the fleshy bits of our toes into the mat and moving our hips over our ankles here. Should feel a nice stretch along the back side of your hamstrings. Halfway lift, straight spine, and fold. If you have the range here and you want to plant your palms down, activate through the biceps and see how that changes the forward fold and how your whole body is activating. If you want to find some more range here, bend into the knees to relax the pressure on the hamstrings. Stay here for a couple of breaths and then slowly start to push back into it, activating through the quadriceps, pulling the kneecaps up, and see if you get more range out of it. Just be very cautious when you do this. Good. Halfway lift here, stay here. Using your core, come up to standing. Good. Now we're gonna take that side angle pose to this side here. If you have a strap available, grab it. We're gonna do some arm, what's it called? Binding. So coming into your left leg, we're coming into that side angle pose. If this is enough for you, please stay here. If you want to take the fuller version here, if you're coming with me into binding, grab your strap. You're taking your left arm under your right arm over, and you're just using that strap as an extension of your arms if you need it. Open your chest up towards the sky. If Bird of Paradise is there for you, you can take it. Walking that right foot in underneath you, really getting your core engaged, that right foot leg really strong, using your core and your balance to come up. Opening up through that shoulder, dropping that hip, and the full extension here is the extension of the leg. Coming back out of it the same way you came into it, meeting everyone else back in side angle pose. Great. Plant your palms down. Shifting onto that left leg. We're coming up into our Vashisthasana side plank. Find your balance. Lift your leg up. If you want to join me in Wild Thing, drop that foot behind you. You're on the outer blade of that left foot. And you're coming into this fun, beautiful back bend, side opening, whatever it is, it's amazing. If this isn't accessible for you, just stay in your side plank. Flip over and come through your chaturanga. You can always just push straight back to downward facing dog. Great. Lifting that left leg up to the sky. Knee to nose, step the foot through to thumb. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, shift over that left leg, twist. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Inhale, straight away, we're coming to that really great forward bend, hinging from the hips. You can take your arms behind you here. A really nice stretch. If you need that strap, grab it. Activate your toes in and see how that shifts you forward and also activates through your inner thighs. Halfway lift, inhale. And look forward. We're coming to that side angle pose. Warrior two legs, bending into that right leg. Take that strap, if you're coming with me, and grab it under. So your right arm's going under, your left arm's going over. Now, if you want to take Bird of Paradise, get yourself set up. I don't need the strap on this side. Opening out, strong here. And if you have the full extension of that right leg, take it. Come out of it the same way you came in. Good. Now coming back to our plank, shifting onto that right hand. Take your full version of the side plank,
Or meet me in wild thing. You're on the tippy toes. You can come into more of a back bend if it's available. Plant your palm and come through your chaturanga. Great, now just shift forward. Take a nice child's pose. Come to your tummy here to lie onto the mat. Our forehead is resting down on the mat. We have the tops of our feet pressing down into the mat as well. Engage your quadriceps. We're coming up to Shavasana, locust pose. We'll take a really light version to begin. So inhale, pushing down into the mat. Engage those quadriceps. Engage that core. You should feel back extension here. Take the hands behind you, beside your legs, lifted off of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale back down. One cheek onto the mat. We'll take that again. This time you can lift the legs off if you'd like. So inhale, lift up. Our legs are strong and straight. Inhale, get more extension if it's available for you. Your neck and spine are in a long straight line. And come down, resting the other cheek onto the mat. One more time, your fullest extension. You can take Dhanurasana if it's in your practice. I'm not going to cue it, but please feel free to. Inhale here. And exhale. Dropping back to the mat. Hands behind your side, push up and back. We're going to come into a little bit more of an advanced variation of a back bend. It's called camel pose. So here, Ustrasana, if you will, you're coming up onto your knees, your feet are down into the mat, or if you've never done camel before, or you don't have a lot of range in your back extensions, flip your toes, pushing your hips forward but keeping your core strong. We're taking our hands either facing up on our sacrum or down. I prefer to have them up. Anyway, you're pushing forward, you're extending and opening through the chest, your core is staying strong, your legs and your glute are staying strong, and you're getting a bit of an extension here. Now back bends are great for releasing stuck energy that's stuck around the spine, gives you a little bit of a boost. Go to your range. Again, no crunching here, no pain, just nice extension. Come out of it when you're ready. And just sitting down to our hero's pose. Great. Just relax here for a minute. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. We'll do that again. We'll take it a little bit further. So coming here, back up, flip the toes, pushing forward if it's available for you. If this is your range, please stay here. We also don't want the knees to splay out. If you have a little more extension available in your back bend, you can drop one hand or both down to your heels. Great. Feel that chest opening, that core is strong. You don't want to fall backwards. You want to push forward. Those legs are really supporting you as well. And if it's comfortable, you can drop your head. Take a couple of breaths here. And come out of it the same way. You came in nice and gentle. Coming into hero's pose. onto our bum. Just come around onto our bum here. We're gonna do a bit of core work doing boat pose. Obviously important to do core no matter what you're doing. Especially in yoga, the core wraps all around your body. It protects the spine, so it's a really great tool. And boat pose is a yogi's favorite ab exercise. So our goal here is to have our back flat, our spine strong, and our core engaged. If you find that you're rounding, please take the modified version of boat. So lifting our legs up, our legs bent is modified. If you can keep your core strong and straight, you can engage through the legs. I'm going to keep mine bent today. So here we are. You can bring the hands out to the side or grab on behind the thighs. And dropping down to low boat, keeping that core really engaged here. Back up to high boat. Good. We'll run through this 6 times. 6, 5, squeeze at the bottom. 4, 3, 2 more. Last one, and we're gonna hold it at the bottom here. We're gonna do a hollow body hold, really strong here. Lift the arms overhead. This is really great if you're practicing for handstand. It's really challenging. Five more seconds. And release. Come into happy baby pose, grabbing your feet and just kind of swaying side to side here. Good. Now take your little rock and rolls here and come meet me on all fours. We're coming back into one of our last downward facing dogs here. Take your right leg up. Stepping your right foot outside of your hand, so to your right pinky. Drop that left knee down. If it's bothering you, just put a blanket or a towel underneath there. Now, taking your right foot out, if you have the range, onto the outer edge of your foot, you're going to get a nice stretch all through this leg here, through the thigh, through the hip, and come down. And come down to your elbows if you have the range, otherwise just stay here. Great. Now you can bend that thigh, bend that knee, and grab for the foot if it's in your practice. Getting a nice quadricep stretch. If I sink back into it and pull the heel forward, I'm getting more of a quad stretch. If I'm pushing myself forward here, I'm getting more of a hip stretch. I like to kind of hang out somewhere in the middle. If you actively push your foot into your hand, you're going to activate through the quad stretch even more. Coming out of it, push back into downward facing dog here. Lift your left leg up. We're taking our left foot outside our left pinky. Good, dropping that right knee down if you want. You can keep it lifted. Coming out onto the blade edge of that foot. Good. If it's available for you, get a nice stretch through the whole leg. You can come down on your elbows if it's available for you. Remembering every body is different. Your body is different every single day, depending on how much exercise you've done, how much sleep you've gotten, nutrition, water. So take your body where it's at today, without judgment. Breathe here. Grab that back foot, if it's available for you. Opening through the chest here. Breathe. imagine your palms coming out of that. Back to our downward facing dog. Good. Now lifting that right foot up. We're bringing our right knee to our right wrist, and we're coming down for pigeon pose. So if this hurts your knees, come down to reclined pigeon where you're on your back. Otherwise, we have our right knee next to our right wrist. We have that foot flexed. We don't need to have our shin at a 90 degrees, that's not necessary. If your bum is super high off of the ground, you can grab a block or a mat and prop it under there. Otherwise, we have a nice stretch coming through the outer thigh. If your knee is bothering you, please take the reclined version. And you can just come forward here. Breathing, relaxing into the mat. Allowing your mind and breath to soften. Good. Now pushing back, we're just going to switch sides. So we're taking that left leg up, left knee to left wrist. Again, coming to where you're comfortable, your level. You're not at 100%. You want to feel a stretch. You want to feel engagement, but you don't want to push yourself too hard. You don't want to force anything here. Now, flexing that foot. Coming down onto your forearms if you have the range. If not, and staying up on your hands is enough. Stay there. It's not less than to modify at all. And drop your head, drop your thoughts, relax. Coming out of this, pushing out into our last downward dog. Coming onto our knees. And just coming onto our bum and flipping onto our back. If you feel like you need anything else, you want to take an inversion, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we're just going to come into rest at Shavasana. Now, it is the most important pose in yoga, so I do recommend that if you have a couple of minutes to please take it. So take our feet really wide on the mat. Take up as much space here as you can afford to. Bringing your head down, coming to rest. Really let yourself relax here. It's one of the hardest things for me anyways to do is to just let go. Focus on your breathing. In and out through the nose. And allow your body to sink into the earth. Putting some wiggles in your fingers and toes. If you have more time to relax, please take it. Gently roll to one side, pushing yourself up to a seat. Sitting in a comfortable seat on your mat. Thanks for joining me today. Now let's get you out there for that run.